Becoming Aware of Human Rights. DSW 1125. Human Rights. Chapter 5. Developmental Disabilities in Ontario. The Supreme Law of Canada. The Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Charter of Rights and Freedoms. The Charter sets out those rights and freedoms that Canadians believe are necessary in a free and democratic society. Some of the rights and freedoms contained in the Charter are freedom of expression, the right to a democratic government, the right to live and to seek employment anywhere in Canada, legal rights of persons accused of crimes, Aboriginal people's rights, the right to equality, including the equality of men and women, the right to use either of Canada's official languages, the right of French and English linguistic minorities to an education in their language, the protection of Canada's multicultural heritage. Section 1 of the Charter says that governments may limit Charter rights so long as those limits are ones that a free and democratic society would accept as reasonable. It is also possible for governments to pass laws that take away some rights under the Charter. Under Section 33 of the Charter, sometimes called the Notwithstanding Clause. 15.1. Every individual is equal before and under the law and has the right to the equal protection and equal benefit of the law, without discrimination, and, in particular, without discrimination based on race, national or ethnic origin, color, religion, sex, age, or mental or physical disability. Ontario Human Rights Code, Section 1.1. Every person has a right to equal treatment with respect to services, goods, and facilities without discrimination because of race, ancestry, place of origin, color, ethnic origin, citizenship, creed, sex, sexual orientation, age, marital status, family status, or disability. Community Living Ontario Vision Statement. The quality of our lives is dependent upon how, when, where, and with whom we are free to live, love, learn, work, and spend our personal time. The community has taken responsibility to ensure that people are supported, to the extent that is necessary, to meet individual needs. People have the necessary empowerment and are free to enjoy and exercise all the rights of citizenship, make real choices in self-defined terms, however those choices are expressed, enjoy friendships and other naturally supported relationships. Think about what you can do if you believe that your rights have been violated. Now, what would you do if you can't understand the Human Rights Tribunal system? You can't afford a lawyer or even know how to hire one. The person designated as your advocate has to consider other competing pressures, needs of the agency or home provider. People say that you're an unreliable witness or self-advocate. You can't even speak. Navigating rights. As human services professionals, we often work for people who are identified as not having the capacity to autonomously exercise their own rights. However, this does not mean that the people we work for do not have the same rights as every other Canadian citizen. Limits on rights. Whenever we are invested with the authority to place a limit on another person's rights, we have to be able to demonstrate that we are doing it to maintain the individual's primary right to safety and security of the person. Challenges. This is not as easy when we work in environments where there are limited resources, and administrators and frontline workers are forced to negotiate competing interests and make compromises on a regular basis. We feel pressured by colleagues to do whatever makes the job easier. We begin to feel disempowered and eventually feel like this is just the way it is. There's nothing I can do about it. This is not the right way. Professional obligation. Making rights in theory, rights in life, needs to be the ongoing challenge and professional vocation of every human services worker. The right to be safe. You are working afternoon shift in a group home, and begin to notice that one of your residents, who is normally quite easygoing, seems to become quite agitated whenever one particular staff member is assigned to her nighttime personal care and bedtime routine. This resident is nonverbal and has physical limitations. You've never actually witnessed any abuse, but you do think it's strange that this person only reacts this way with this staff. You are reluctant to make accusations without solid evidence. What do you do? Right to relationships. 2 of the residents where you work have a special personal relationship. They identify as boyfriend and girlfriend, hold hands together on the couch, and are sometimes surprised in a more intimate embrace. Occasionally they argue, but usually reconcile within the day. His parents have expressed concerns about the attachment, as they believe that neither party has the emotional capacity to handle an intimate relationship. They are requesting that one of them be moved to a different residence and minimal contact be maintained. What do you do? The right to privacy. A resident where you work sometimes chooses to retire to her room after supper when the others are watching TV or participating in other household activities. Senior staff don't approve of this because it's antisocial, and her behaviors cannot be monitored. In addition, she sometimes falls asleep, making it more difficult for night shift if she chooses to stay up later when the others are ready for bed. What do you do? The right to say no. What if you're working at a day program and there is an outing planned to the YMCA? Everyone in your group is excited to go. As you are preparing to leave, one member of your group begins insisting that he doesn't want to go. He would prefer to stay at the program and work on a project he's been building. You don't have the staffing complement to leave one person behind with him while the others attend the outing. His home provider is at work, and the caseworker is not available. What do you do? Right to make decisions. Everyone in your group is planning to go on a shopping outing. One of your members insists that she wants to wear what appears to be pajama bottoms with her sweater and jacket. You think she looks ridiculous. What do you do? Right to respectful support. You are on placement in a high-behavior, high-stress group home environment. When one of the residents spills his cereal all over his lap, you witness a staff member call him an idiot in exasperation. The individual begins to cry and the staff walks away, saying that he can think about his inappropriate behavior while she gets him a clean shirt. What do you do? Right to grow. An individual in your group has heard about a cooking class at the other end of town that he would like to attend. Handy Transit cannot coordinate busing at the times required, and while your supervisor has managed to arrange adequate staffing for you to attend this one-on-one outing for the 6 weeks of the course, senior management advises that they cannot cover the cost of your mileage, and you are also worried about insurance liability. You really think this person would love the course. What do you do? Right to self-advocacy. You are a new staff at a group home where everybody gets ready in the morning to attend a day program. You are trying to encourage a young man who is giving you all kinds of indication that he doesn't want to go. The bus will be there soon, and you are getting a little impatient. Finally, he says that you have no right to make him go, and he wants to call his mother. You go to senior staff, who dismiss the complaint, saying that he always wants to call his mother, and they can't be getting her involved whenever he decides to be difficult. What do you do? Right to risk. At your monthly staff meeting, your supervisor announces that John has been telling his caseworker that he would like to be able to go to the corner store on his own to purchase a treat from time to time. You have real concerns for John's safety in traffic, and you are not convinced that the caseworker has an accurate sense of his abilities and limitations. The caseworker, however, is insistent. It's in his life plan, which you were not consulted on, and they are prepared to give it a try. What do you do? Right to access. The local bingo where you have been bringing your program for years has recently remodeled and advised you that they are sorry, but you can no longer bring your members who use wheelchairs because they have refinished the floors and don't want them scratched by the wheels. What do you do? The right to be proud of who I am. It's a beautiful summer day, and everyone at the residence where you work has decided to go to the local beach for the afternoon. Susan is especially pleased because she has a new bathing suit and is clearly feeling quite pleased with it herself and the day as she runs down to the shore. As you follow, you easily hear a group of young people start to catcall and yell, "Here comes the retards out on a day pass." Susan stops in her tracks and looks for a place to retreat. She won't go back near the water that day. You feel furious at the insensitive remark and offended for Susan. What do? The right to dream. None of us are able to get whatever we want, whenever we want it, but we never have the right to kill anyone else's dream. When someone talks to you about their dreams, their hopes for the future, I hope you don't promise what you know you may not be able to deliver, but at least validate these hopes and help the individual explore them further. Many big dreams can be broken down into smaller goals to move us along our life's journey. Food for thought. Watch the following short video titled The Sterilization of Leilani Muir on YouTube. List the rights violations Leilani Muir experienced. In addition, as a future advocate in this field, how would you handle a situation in which the parents want their daughter sterilized to prevent any future pregnancies?